All right, we are back with another absolute banger of a review. My friends at Arccaptain called me up and they said, hey, we got a new plasma cutter and we want to send it in for you to do some type of review video on. And I said, another plasma cutter, okay. You know, I've done a bunch. And they're like, no, this one's different. And I go, I mean, how different can it be? It's a plasma cutter. It's different, and I'm gonna show you how. Look, right there, look at it. Look, rust removal. What? Rust removal? It cuts mesh? I've never seen a plasma cutter that can, quote, remove rust. That's new for us. So let's test it together. Oh, you remove rust? Okay. Let's try that. This is the Arccaptain CUT55 Prolux. The Prolux is the newest series of Arccaptain plasma cutter, and it has a lot of features that the other ones just don't have. Let's unbox it. Nice big long cord. Let's pull her out. Roar. Good foam protection. Oh, I'm gonna show you guys that stuff. Hold on. Hold on. First things first. Let's get into the accoutrement that comes with such a device. Now, if you guys are looking for a reason to buy an Arccaptain plasma cutter, look no further than the fact they give you cool stickers. If you're a guy that's like, man, I need some stickers to put on my welding helmet, Arccaptain has you covered. They also have a warranty card in the box. The obligatory hose. Nope. We don't need that. Because Arccaptain said we are going to give you a 1/4 inch quick connect. So you can boop, on you go. Next, what we have here is the, oh, this is new and improved. This is a new and improved, well, I would consider an AG60. It looks like AG60 consumables would go onto that. But here's the nice part. Look how flexible that is. I've complained about this to a lot of manufacturers that send in things to test, and I'm like, these things are so stiff that they're hard to maneuver and work with. It becomes laborious. This is awesome. This thing looks like an absolute monster. Let me see, that's 6 feet. That's, oh my goodness, this has got to be 13, 14 feet long. If you're working with this machine, you got a lot of leash. So that's great. It comes with a standoff for plasma cutting, and it comes with tips and consumables right in here. So you got a couple extras. These are definitely AG60, I can tell. But you can get all these consumables through Arccaptain. 110 to 220 adapter. 220, 221, whatever it takes. I generally always run these machines full complement, so I'm going to run them 220 volt because I run everything 220 volt because why wouldn't you? So this is your work clamp. Let's see how long. Let's say 6, 10. So this is a 3-meter work clamp, which is just about 10 feet. I've done this enough to know that. And that's a 1025 DIN. Pretty standard. Boop, boop. And what Arccaptain does on all of the Pro machines, they give you a carry strap to lace in the top so you can take this on the job site with you. But what's also cool is if you work in a dusty environment, they're going to give you a cover. A lot of people have asked I've seen it online. Everyone's always asking, hey, do you make a cover for that machine? Do you make a cover for that machine? So Arccaptain's like, not only do we make a cover, we'll give you one. So just for S's and G's, we'll throw it on there. And you can still access the top, and it has pockets for consumables. So that's cool. So what's different about this machine off the rip? This is the new Pro Series case. So this case has plastic corner protection front and back. It doesn't have the sharp corners on it, so it doesn't get hung up on stuff. This has increased cooling. These are built to run hard. So these things move a ton of air through them. This thing has an upgraded display, which we're gonna run. Let's fire it up. I am quite aware that you guys do not need a setup video for a plasma cutter, especially one that is this easy to use. You're going to hook up your switch power for your torch. You're going to hook up your pilot line for your torch. The yellow connector that comes in the bag is to help you facilitate screwing this on by hand. You don't have to use this. You can use just a wrench if you'd like. And then you got your work clamp. Literally, that's it. And then you got a 1/4 inch fitting on the back for quick connect for your air hose, and you're done. Now, what I want to tell you guys, you can run this thing off an extension cord. Arccaptain actually sells a very heavy gauge 50p extension cord. So you guys that are working in your shop, I've had this cord for quite a while. It's worked out well for me. If you need an extension cord for your welder / plasma cutter, Arccaptain has it. If you use Mad Ginger at checkout, you obviously save money even off sale prices. So let's go right through this thing because the new display is fancy. That new display is legit. Very crisp numbers, tells you the voltage, tells you the amperage setting, obviously adjustable, right? It's going to tell you PSI. Now that is static pressure. You're not going to cut using static pressure. You're going to do an air check. It's going to switch. You can go from PSI to MPa, but when you hit it again, watch this. It's going to give you flow pressure. So we're really at flow pressure about 62 PSI. That's important, guys. That's a nice feature in this. You got a function button here. 2T is you pull the trigger and it starts to cut. When you let the trigger go, it stops cutting. 4T is you pull the trigger once, you cut. You pull the trigger again, it stops cutting. PT is your post flow. So you can turn it up. How long is this thing blowing air after you complete your cut? And it also has this new feature. This is how long your pilot arc will stay on. So if you're doing some really rusty metal, you may want to run it a little higher. Or if you got brand new clean metal, a couple seconds will do it. That's a nice new feature on this plasma cutter. Let's get into modes. This icon gives you just straight cutting. So if you're cutting steel plate, you're cutting sheet metal, that's your bread and butter. Most guys, that's what you're going to run. You hit the function button again, boom. I know you guys probably can't see this, but it's cutting segmented metal. Do you guys need to cut expanded metal? Because now you can, because that mode cuts this. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock right across the front of it. Boom. Let's move on to the other secret. That right there is rust removal. Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am to try that. That is the most novel feature of a plasma cutter that I've seen on the market. I don't know if any other plasma cutter currently even has that. So that's a big deal. So we're going to run this thing 220 volt. And we're just going to start cutting things really quick. So we're going to run, you know, some 16 gauge, some 1/4 inch, some 1/2 inch plate. We're going to cut some expanded metal. And I really want to try the rust removal. But that's this thing in a nutshell. Right off the rip, because this is pilot arc, you can cut rusty metal with it because it'll burn through the rust. That is the big advantage of using a pilot arc machine. Now let's get gloved up. And we got to get some glasses on because, guys, safety first when you do this. This will really burn you guys. I know I don't talk about safety a lot on these videos. Keep your hands safe. Put on some gloves. Get your eyeballs safe. If you guys want some good gloves, these are the best gloves I've used. These are TIG gloves. They're also Arccaptain. I mean, I know I'm an Arccaptain fanboy. If you watch my channel, I run all kinds of Arccaptain stuff. I really do enjoy it. I don't just test their stuff. I really enjoy their stuff. These are the best gloves that I've ever used, and I'll tell you how you can know that that's true, because I buy these with my own money. A lot of welding manufacturers will send me tons and tons of stuff because they want me to run their stuff. Arccaptain doesn't actually send these to me. I buy these because these are the best. So just a heads up on that. Now this machine is on, but it is very quiet. So this thing is thermostatically controlled, so the fan only runs when it's hot. 35 amps. Let's just see how she rips through this. That's pilot arc, just what you should see. Oh yeah. That easy. That easy. Like nothing. You're an artist? Because you could be. Next item on the slicing block is a piece of scrap 1/8 inch. It obviously smashed through 18 gauge. I'm not even going to turn this up. Let's just see if it'll go through this. Shaky hands and all, but that's a good cut. Easy peasy. This is a monstrosity from welding nonsense together. Let's see if we can't cut this thing apart. That is 1/4 inch thick. So that's pretty thick. So we're gonna turn this thing up. We'll go to like 40, 45 amps. We got more than enough air. Fire in the hole! So let's just do this. Even on an angle, look at how clean the cut is, even on an angle. That's crazy. Look at it. There's like nothing left. No slag. That's a great cut. That is the big dog right there. This is 1/2 inch thick plate. We use this and cut chunks out of it when we test plasma cutters. Let's just cut a section out of this and see how we do. And I'm gonna try to work around you guys. Ready? Here we go. Look at it. Would you look at it? That's absolutely incredible. Now you say, Dave, well, that's quite rusty, isn't it? Do you guys want to try the rust removal on this? I'm excited to try that. I think we're going to try that. I got to get it so you guys can see it, how I can run it. We're going to go right there. It's going to automatically drop this down to 35 amps. So what you're supposed to do is rock this thing on its side, like a 45-degree angle. Well, let's just see how it goes. Okay. I stayed in this spot way too long and I started to dip in, so don't do that. Make sure you lean this thing over. Probably more than 45 degrees. Let's try to clean it up even more. Are you as impressed with the rust removal as I am? That's pretty cool, right? It uses the pilot arc, 35 amps, and it basically just removes all the contaminants on the surface. Super usable. Good job, Arccaptain, I love that. What's next? Expanded metal. Prolux. Expanded metal Prolux. Okay, alright. So you want to be on your expanded metal or your mesh setting. If you know anything about plasma cutters, they're designed to, when you lose your arc, it stops. And then you gotta reinitialize because you gotta pull the trigger again. Not on the mesh function. Mesh function, 35 amps. I'm gonna hug you and work around you like you were my children. And we're gonna try to cut this thing straight across. Let's go. Who is the mesh function for? Artists, guys who build trailers, doing construction equipment, anything where you got to use decorative expanded metal or structural expanded metal. Works awesome. I'm always wondering how far I can go with the rust removal. This is like an old leaf spring block. It's got rust and paint. What's the chance it'll take that off? Let's try that. It works. That's cool. I wonder if I can do the top. Yeah. Can you guys even see that? Let's try that. I mean, she's hot, but it's pretty clean. It does work. That's cool. Took the paint right off of it. Alright guys, this is another absolute unit from Arccaptain. Every single welder, plasma cutter, everything I have from Arccaptain's been a joy to use. This thing is even better. Every time they update something, you're like, wow, it's so much better. Arc stability is good. I love the fact you can adjust the pilot arc now, and you could always adjust post flow on it, but you know, if you're comparing this to the CUT50, I mean, what's the difference between, say, a CUT50 Arccaptain and then a CUT50 Prolux, right? You get pilot arc, you get adjustable pilot arc duration, you also get the new updated screen. The updated screen is actually super easy to see through a welding hood or Shade 5 glasses. So if you guys have issues seeing your plasma cutters through your hoods, you will not have a problem seeing the screen on this through your hood or through your glasses, because they did upgrade the display. This thing moves a ton of air, like a crazy amount of air. It gets really cool, nice and quick, and it has a thermostatic fan, so it shuts off. So when you run this thing hard, it cools itself right down and shuts back off, and you're like, it's cool. So I do like that. I love the fact they put a 1/4-inch fitting on the back. That's big for me. I love the fact that it has the rust removal function. So if you got some really deep pits on something, you can dig them out. If you got some surface rust, you can kind of just whip across the top of this thing and clean it up. The pilot arc works through the rust anyway, guys. I know, I say this all the time. Pilot arc units are key. If you're doing, I do a lot of car stuff right on my channel. If you're cutting through paint, if you're cutting through rust, pilot arc is awesome. And on this machine, you can turn that pilot arc duration up in case you need a little bit more help burning through. It also has a mesh function. I don't know if any of the other Arccaptain cutters have a mesh function, but now you get a mesh function so you can cut that expanded metal. So in case you're doing, if you got a trailer gate, you lay down, you ride a mower up, something like that, those things always are getting whooped up on the expanded metal. If you build doors, screen doors, anything like that, decorative metal, now you got that, on-off function, and you're not going to get frustrated, and you don't have to go to a death wheel. You can just zip through it with this machine. So whether you're out in the garage like me or on the job site, you're a car builder, you're a metal fabricator, maybe you're an artist, Arccaptain does have you covered with that Prolux unit. This thing's a good unit. So if you guys use the link in the description and you do it soon, this machine retails for $399. It's on sale right now for $309.99, so 310 bucks. But if you use code MADGINGER at checkout, you're actually going to save even more money, even off of sale prices. So even if you didn't want this machine and you wanted a MIG welder or a TIG welder or some gloves or maybe a helmet, you can use MADGINGER on all that and it'll save you the same percentage off every single thing on Arccaptain. So guys, you watched me do it. We cleaned metal, we cleaned rust, we cut expanded metal, mesh, we cut 1/2-inch plate, we cut sheet metal. This thing really does it all. So if I can do it, you absolutely can do it. So grab yourself a CUT55 Prolux and start cutting metal yourself. Thanks for watching.